Embrace the magical side of life, where anything is possible and the infinite is accessible to all. Let's have a conscious conversation about what's going on in the world, in your life, and your relationship from the expanded perspective of your soul. The path to awareness begins and ends in the heart. So let's take it there, one step at a time, and learn to cultivate magic in your life every single day. In each episode, we share a collective space in which we discover the unique facets of our own magic and embody our superhuman qualities by humbly exploring how it's super simply to be human. Hosts Kai and Del co-create a magical experience to remind you that you are magical as fuck. Now, be unleashed. This is our daily magic.
And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of our Daily Magic. Today is Tuesday, Magical Tuesday. And today is the day that we get to share a magical moment with you. If you happen to be watching us live, please feel free to drop an emoji in the comments so that we can say hello, so that we can be introduced, and so that we can have a magical, engaging conversation. Thank you, Facebook user. Loves to know who you are.
Oh, that's Cam.
Hey, Cam. Welcome. That intro is pretty lit. It also might be time to update it. It's been our intro for quite some time. How are you today?
Sore as fuck.
What you been doing?
Life. I'm sore. It's been the past couple days. The body is feeling like soreness. But it's one of those things that life gives you those moments. It's all about how you handle it. Excuse me. Just interesting.
How are you handling it?
I'm being with it. I don't handle it. I be with it.
You just said it's all in how you handle it.
Yeah. The way I handle it is being with it. Not handle. How gotta handle this thing? No.
Got it. Can you plug this in?
Sure.
Thanks. So why not start there? Pain and being with it. What does that even mean?
What does it mean?
To you.
Well, you want to start somewhere and then you're gonna deflect it to me.
No, the question was to you.
It's funny how like notification always blow up during this time, random messages. But my guess is this message is some type of marketing or some pitch to me. was right. Oh man, give me more. Great, great Fox Metal Gear. Be with it in whatever way you're being with it. We all be with pain in whatever way that we are with it. Some people go into it, get some healing. Some people use it for ways to what's it project it. Some people do whatever's possible to numb themselves from feeling it again. Some people get very protective. It's all these different ways, and I've done every single one of them. But the way I'm with it now is just allow it to be here. It's here. I'm not gonna fight it. It's like what what use is it to fight something that's already here, as opposed to allowing nature to take its course? Or also just check in with myself. What do I need right now? And I'm hydrating myself. I actually got this big ass thing of, it's not even Bubba no more. This thing's called Tau. Oh, that's actually funny. So Tau's actually the initials for my friend Tyson's his initials. Like synchronistically, I'm going to send him a photo live on the show. But I'm doing the way I'm with it is I'm actually doing the stuff that my body needs, and also myself what I need in the moment. I shared a story. I don't know if I shared it here, but I shared it on some interview I was talking to. But what I was saying was, when my body gets like this, or body feels soreness or tiredness, I will shut down all mind, body, and spirit emotions, all this way to a cocoon. Yeah, yes, sir. But like I was saying, like my body soreness, I was just getting the shutdown mode. Like this one day, just wake up, and I don't feel like dealing with anything, anyone, and I really just want to be a hermit. And I would think that, oh, something's wrong, something's going on with that, but really, the reason for that was my body was sore from working out, and I just needed to retreat to recharge myself, or do some stuff to acknowledge what I needed in the moment. And the same thing with this. Feel a little hermit mode, but not too much. But in that hermit mode, I just need to. It's an indication for me that, hey, I need to do some stuff to recharge myself or to replenish myself. So I've been doing stuff like that. Like get this big bottle, which is pretty cool. Now my other one I had, rest in peace to that one. I had to do like 4 or 3 full cups of it to count as drinking over a gallon. This one, it's only 2 now, so it's pretty cool. All I gotta do is fill this up twice in one day, and it allowed me to get my gallon in, which I started yesterday, and it's been really more effortless to get that done with it. So that's the way I deal with it. How do you deal with it? Or yeah, what do you do with pain?
Pain to me is just like any other sensation. And it's just a sensation in my eyes. I feel like it's a choice as to how it is taken in. And the way that I receive it is, usually dictates the way it is that I get to be with it. Sometimes pain is emotional. Sometimes pain is physical. Sometimes pain just shows up in different ways. But since it has all of these different ways that it can show up, it means that I can show up for it in different ways as well. So it could look like relaxing. It could look like, doing something that's really kind to myself. It could look like having extra compassion. It could also look like just being. Maybe some extra meditation, some extra rest. Maybe it could look like journaling if I wanted to understand it. Or I can just let it go. Or I can just go about my day the same way and just let it be there. So I think I tend to just allow myself to make choices and to let it be there too. And that's how I deal with it. And today, I've got a lot of pain. Some of it's gone though, but also some of it has increased. I had pain in my shoulder, which is on its way out, thank goodness. But now I have a pain in the neck and a headache. And I'm not really one to take any like over-the-counter medicine unless I really feel that I want to. So being with it is a practice.
It's interesting how over-the-counter medicines get a bad rap.
Do you think?
Yeah,
By who?
by people who may be on one side of the spectrum of natural holistic medicine type of stuff.
Wow. I'm a person who subscribes to natural holistic medicine, and I don't believe that over-the-counter stuff gets bad rap for me.
That's why I said some people, not all people.
Right. That's why I'm sharing my opinion since I'm one of those people.
Yeah, but they have their value, and they have their value in certain moments, like the antibiotics out there, or maybe ibuprofen too, that can help with if there's a swelling going on or too intense of a pain type of thing.
Yeah, I keep an inhaler in my wallet. It's very valuable to me during COVID. What did you find interesting about it?
Just it's not even just with that, on the essence of that, of label behind stuff based upon maybe one or it's more than one potential sour patches in the bunch. So there's a label that is all horrible. So like in pharmaceutical medicine, how there's a lot of medications out there that are definitely beneficial, like I was just mentioning certain things like that. But then obviously there's some stuff that cause side effects and potential harm to the body. And there's like a rap. Like, pharmaceutical people are evil. Big pharma is evil, and all this other stuff out there. And from my own experience with being in the pharmaceutical companies, there's a lot of great people who are actually there. It's like how something can get labeled horrible, but then there's like amazing people that are part of this thing. And just because on one side or one experience is horrible, it's labeled that it's all horrible type of thing. And it's the same thing that reminded me of not only just the pharma aspects, but um, beliefs as well. So in this group that I'm a part of that talks about like religious trauma and stuff, I saw a post today when they were talking about how their their family members and their friends they believe in a religious belief, but then they embody the teachings in a loving way, in which like love and compassion for everyone out there, but they have their beliefs, their religious belief, and they were just saying how that's that one aspect, but then there's people out there who use it in a way of shaming and ridicule and the abuse and stuff going on. So it reminded me of that certain thing as well, in which there's maybe a sour bunch into it, but then also there's people who actually are doing good with it. So that's why I was just saying it's interesting in that aspect how easy it is to just label stuff without actually taking a look at it.
It's funny, the FDA, the organization that we know that looks at food and drugs, they don't look at the food or the drug itself. All they do is administer labels. So when we're thinking about, the content of something as opposed to its label, we have an organization in our country that only looks at labels and only administers labels. So it definitely is a commentary towards how people can perceive each other by their exterior, by their label, and maybe not even take the content into consideration at all. Or maybe look at both. But it is quite interesting that that is all they look at.
And also, it's something that we all are guilty of before, of looking at stuff from a label perspective as opposed to actually experiencing things for what it is, and it's quick to like label something or put a preconceived notion on it. So it's one of those things that is interesting, but then also is something that like I'm not gonna be in the space of ridiculing people who do it. It's just interesting because it always makes me wonder like what are other people's reasons for doing it, as opposed to, oh, this is the reason why you're doing, why you have the labels. It's very interesting, those type of conversations as you get blurry now.
And sometimes labels can be helpful. It's a way of communicating from one person's perception to another. That label can be there based on someone else's preconceived notions, or that label can be there based on their experience. So it could absolutely go either way on a lot of things. It seems like it's a great idea to take a closer look for yourself. That way you can determine what it is that you feel. Maybe you'll relabel, maybe you won't label at all. And it is kind of nice to have a product labeled when it could potentially kill you. That way you don't have to experience that for yourself.
It's like the pioneers, the people who, now there's information online about what mushrooms can kill you and which ones can give you an amazing trip.
Thanks, Cam. Received. So you can go mushroom hunting with your online buddy and find out if it's deadly or not.
Or even like the labels on certain medications when they tell you like the prescription to take or the amount to take or whatever as well. So that way you're not overly taking it or underly taking it. You're taking like just a moderate amount that has worked for people with a certain age or whatever it may be, maybe based on weight and all this other stuff. But I always wonder about the whole calorie thing, the calorie count.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the amount of calories for you to eat or whatever it may be. But like I'm always curious with that, and it's a good question because you're in the fitness world with calories. Let's say you eat a certain number of calories, and a certain number of calories is broken up in, like, let's say I had some like candy, and I had some donuts, and had some fried chicken, all this other stuff, and it got me into that calorie number. So whatever that number is, so, okay, I hit that calorie number, and this is what I ate, as opposed to getting to that calorie number eating like vegetables, lean meat, healthy stuff like that, and you get to that calorie thing. So like for both of those things, you hit the same calorie number, but based upon what you're taking in with that calorie number, is it going to make a difference in how you're going to get results?
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of difference do you think that it creates?
Well, body composition.
Yeah, how so?
If I eat the sugary and all the other stuff, that okay, this is my diet, but I'm staying in my calorie number.
Hmm.
But I still feel like from taking that in, it's still gonna have an effect on your body, like putting on fat type of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Because
100%. Hmm.
could you imagine like if you can go like on a Skittle diet? Oh, this is the calorie number. This is the calories I gotta have per day, so I'm having this. But then the breakdown of what's in that calories, meaning like the proteins and the carbs and whatever it may be.
Have you ever heard of if it fits your macros?
No.
So if it fits your macros was it was a movement hashtag IIFYM, and it actually bless you had a lot of people go on what they call the Pop-Tart diet in the bodybuilding industry. And what that meant was that Pop-Tarts have a certain number of sugars and a certain number of carbs. So they're like, oh, well, if you skip your carbs and have a Pop Tart instead, it still fits in your macros. So people were having mad Pop Tarts because it would fit in their macronutrients.
That's funny.
It was kind of funny. It totally speaks to what you're just talking about. And also, a calorie is a unit of heat. 1 calorie is how much heat it takes to break down I believe it's a carbon-based molecule, but I could be wrong, into, like the different parts so that it can be absorbed by your bloodstream. So when you get into things that are like really complex, like things that are processed or things that are synthetic, the calorie count can tend to get like really high. That's why like processed sugar usually is like a higher calorie count. But if you eat things like from the earth, the calorie count tends to be a lot lower. And also, bonus, because it is a natural product, it also naturally decomposes. Like if you ate a piece of plastic or a penny, it's not going to necessarily naturally decompose in your body. Bless you. So that means that a penny is probably really high in calories. And it doesn't fit in your macros. No one needs that much copper in your system. I don't even think pennies are made out of copper anymore, but that's another subject.
But doesn't everything technically come from Earth anyway? Because I mean, does it come from Mars?
Well, it's directly from the earth.
Doesn't everything directly come from the Earth?
No, because it can come from the earth and then it can be processed.
Okay.
And that processing in your body has to get unprocessed.
Yeah, but originally comes from the Earth.
Yes, I get what you're saying.
But then what happens after that? Then it gets morphed into different stuff. That's why I was like, feels like everything is from the Earth already, unless like I don't know, like I got this copper from Mars type of thing.
Yes, it's from the earth, unprocessed or processed.
Yeah.
That's like saying, oh, yeah, we're both from the same source creator, so why even call us different people?
Because we're both.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's contradictory. But is it contradictory or is it just infinite? You're both. As you can see right here, there's two different people here, but then on a soul level, it's just one being experiencing itself, even through all these other stuff too. But it's like the contrast allows the infinite to play. Without contrast, we would never get to experience the opposite or whatever it may be. So without unprocessed, we wouldn't experience what processed food feels like.
True. And that's why your belief system plays such an important part in your well being, because your cells are listening to what it is that you believe. So if you believe that processed foods are bad, then guess what? Your cells are going to help make that a reality. And you may have some beliefs in your cellular memory that you don't even know are there until you encounter it. So happy exploring, listening to your body, aka your subconscious mind. Tell your body that you don't need food for 21 days, then guess what? You don't.
Good luck with that. You'll get there. In the process of getting yourself to believe that, those unbeliefs are going to show up. You're going to see how strong is your will to actually believe that type of thing. Like whenever it is you're shifting yourself or whatever it may be, the opposite shows up to really allow you to hone in on your will for choosing whatever it may be.
Yep. The gift of contrast.
Yeah. Again, and that's what I understand. It's like what Abraham Hicks talks about when you're focusing on whatever you're looking to create, staying in that vibration of it, even when the opposite or is like happening. I mean, not just Abraham. A lot of people say that with law of attraction and stuff. Focus on the reality you're creating and stay honed in on that, even if things are showing the opposite. To hone in on that, continue to stay in that energy. And I just think like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, why the hell? It's like if there's a fire going on in your house, am I gonna visualize the fire not being here and just sit while it's happening?
Say more.
So if the building is burning down and my reality, I want to create. I don't want to be in a burning building. So do I? So I'm visualizing not a burning building, and I sit there as the building's burning, type of thing. So that's what I first initially thought about this. So okay, if I want to attract money in my life and I don't have that much money in my life, I'm just gonna focus on the end results of not of the end results of having money, and then just allow what's happening to happen. So she like sit back, idle in that space or whatever type of thing. And for both things, okay, is a burning building. I don't want a burning building. I'm going to do the action. I'm going to call 911 or something or put the water down. That's my action. But also realizing, okay, this is what I want to create. And now I'm doing the action for creating it. So it reminded me the same thing as like in the money situation before when I would think that way and wasn't getting results. As opposed to now, when I'm doing this, I'm thinking or I'm focusing on what I want to create, and I'm doing actions from that state of that being created, and that's allowing things to like unfold more and unsuspected surprises and stuff like that. But even in the point of when the end, one of my end goals, I'm not there yet. Me staying in that state allows me to do some actions, but then things start unraveling. So that's what I meant.
Things start unraveling.
Yeah, meaning like sequence of events. Obviously, if I'm if I'm trying to create something and I'm creating and I feel like I'm creating by myself, then it's going to be a real, it could potentially be a real struggle for me trying to create it for myself. Doing the action, okay, I'm doing this because this is what I'm, how do I do this? So, like, how do I figure it out? That word. As opposed to, it's already figured out, and I'm going to do actions to actually get it done, meaning the commitment. I'm committed to this goal. I'm committed to get this done. But also, I'm willing to like play around with this and do stuff in the way of getting this, but I'm committed to this type of. I'm committed. This is my reality. And then, like I said, things start to morph. Meaning, like a conversation may happen out the blue. I may get this random nudge to do this thing or all these different stuff. It's monument. It's pretty cool. But like when you start to see how things are unraveling, and that's I think I said that last week. For me, seeing stuff unravel, you seeing the puzzle pieces starting to come together, and I started to see the puzzle pieces come together. And when I'm now looking for the puzzle to be a certain way, one of the okay, this is what I would like to have. All right, cool. I'm just gonna direct my life. I'm gonna do what I need to do in my life to get it, or not to get it, to create it, create it with the divine.
Got it.
But like in moments like today, with the body soreness and stuff like that, the normal thing like, all right, let's push, let's go, type of thing. And by me actually just surrendering to what's going on with me right now, it also allowed me to start doing stuff to get to nourish myself as well, and also got honest with myself too. My she's I ate a lot of crappy stuff for for like a little bit for the past couple of days or something like that. But then also honing in to what I want and focusing and doing energy in that way too. So also this seems like it came up, like I said, the opposite shows up
Hmm.
and obtain it. So it was like, was it? Yeah, it was a couple of days ago. I made the decision. I'm like, my birthday. Oh, that was my birthday. It's a month and 9 days. So in a month and 9 days, I'm going to be 225 pounds. I made it that declaration. I made that commitment to it. And me making a commitment to it, the opposite was starting to show up a little bit. I started eating like crap again in it, but I got more aware to that. And my body's just like, ugh. I started to feel the difference that it was before, or the difference of eating like crap and feeling like eating like crap all the time, and feeling like crap. But I actually made the decision what I want to do and created, and I got the puzzle pieces, the inspiration puzzle piece to actually get that done. Like, got my protein shakes now again. I actually had a first protein shake after working out,
Hmm.
and that kept me really solid for the day. And then I just had like rice and eggs later on that day, rice and eggs in my stashies. But I'm honoring my commitment and I'm doing the stuff forward with that. But then also, I realized I was feeling like crap because I'm not honoring what I said to myself. I
Hmm.
mean, like I want to get to here, and like you say, your cells are listening.
Hmm.
So if your body hears you, what you want to do, and you're not doing it for yourself, you're not honoring yourself. You're not honoring the commitment to yourself, type of thing. And there could be a little bit of a conflict going on, but then you feel like it's outside of you or something like that. But really, the internal conflict is you want one thing and you're not honoring that type of thing. Maybe you even had a passion in your life, and you're not doing the stuff forward with that. Even with that a little bit, I'm like, yeah, I want to create these things now for my business and things like that. And also like, oh yeah, I want to be able to get the home and things like that. Um, there's more honoring for my own commitment, which I'm taking a look at to shipping. But there's fitness aspects of stuff now, honoring that part of it. Even from doing honoring for a day, it's been pretty good, monumental with it.
That day is today or yesterday?
Now I did it yesterday. I said to myself over the weekend, I said Monday, I'm going for it. Usually, and it's funny. Usually the thing is like, oh, I'm going to start this thing tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. I said Monday. Monday, Monday, I'm having my cacao. Monday, I'm getting my protein shake. And I got my protein shake on Sunday as a way of saying, all right, it's go time. I got my protein shake now with it and these other things too, the other pieces that are coming together and stuff like that. And also, like, it's like momentum swing. Got my hair done finally in 2 months. I was talking to Emily about that. I'm like, yo, it's been a freaking struggle. I haven't got my, and I had a fro, and like, it was crazy. Like before this got put in, my hair was like here, down here. It was pretty long. She was like, yo, she was telling me like, yo, your hair is like mad long now. But it's honoring, being the word for yourself, honoring yourself. That's the momentum, and that helps you to build confidence, like that confidence in yourself and confidence in your abilities. Because once you are honoring what you said you want to do for yourself and actually doing it, you start trusting yourself more and building that relationship. So for me, I didn't judge myself for not being on that path.
Mm-hmm.
I forgave myself. I accepted that. I let it go. But like realizing that every moment is a moment that you can actually make that shift to start building some momentum, because you got momentum going either way. So it's like, is your momentum going towards your goals or your momentum going against your goal? And if it's not going towards your goals, get honest with yourself in the moment and make some choices, make some change, make it from a place of compassion as well, not beating yourself up and forcing yourself. Because like when we're forcing ourselves to do something like that, it's very challenging. But also like eating right is just a decision in each moment to choose to eat something in alignment. It's how present are you with it. That's why it's interesting when we can say, and I said it before, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. No, you're choosing not to do it. I was choosing not to do this, my choice. But it's a great foundational standpoint when you realize you have the choice to create whatever you want. Just imagine that, like even for the abundance of money, I have the choice to create as much money as I want in my life. The choice isn't the fact that like I'm in a job that I hate, or it's not the reason because I'm in a job that I hate, I don't have time. I'm choosing to use the job that's not paying me what I truly deserve as an excuse for me not to really unleash my passion, things like that. Like having a level conversation on that standpoint, it allows like creation possibilities to happen and everything. Now got me preaching a sermon now. That's like I saw this thing also today of in a spiritual awakening group. So somebody said something about, I feel like I don't have my gifts. I don't know what my gifts are. I don't know how I can find my gifts. And you hear that, right? Like that's their belief. Mm-hmm. So it's their reality.
Right.
What you believe is your reality. So I'm like, what if you are the gift? Like, what if you already have the gift within you? And what if only thing you need to do is to nurture it like a plant. Mm-hmm. Keep watering your gifts. But your gifts are already here. And if you get aware of your own journey until right now, and also the things you're passionate about, things that you do so naturally, whatever it may be, those are your gifts. Those are your gifts that you get to nurture and actually use as a way to provide some service or whatever you want to provide with it. But you're already doing your gift. It's the thing that excites you. Whatever excites you, that is your gift. Why does that excite you? What is the essence of it? Whatever that may be. It's 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 so much easier when you realize that you already have it and that's your foundation point, as opposed to I'm trying to find my purpose, or I'm trying to find this, I'm trying to find that, whatever it may be. Instead of like the searcher, you're already at a foundational standpoint in the space of all of it already, and you just get to nurture it. That nurture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna allow you to do your thing. So I gotta go wee wee. I've been holding this wee wee in for like 30 minutes. See, this is the drinking the water.
Wow. I mean, it really is something to think about, commitments, and to really get present to what it is that you're creating, and to really, really get honest about, are you in alignment with that or not? How can you evaluate that for yourself? How did you come to the realization that you were out of alignment?
It's a good question. Is that a question for the audience?
No, it's for you.
Best way for myself to realize I'm not in alignment is when the way that I feel that the way that I know that I'm not in alignment is when I'm not feeling infinite. When I feel myself being in limitations with stuff. But then also when I get present with myself and think about things I wanted to create for myself. So the best way for me, especially to like really check that, is my declarations. Is where when I look at my, or when I say my declarations, and I ask myself, how am I creating those things into my life? What, how am I how am I being and creating that stuff? So one of the stuff is on the fitness aspects, and I really checked in with myself, being honest,
Right.
and having that honest talk with myself. That's when it brought the awareness. Okay, am I really going all in with this thing on the fitness aspect? Like meaning like, yeah, I'm working out, cool, but this the most important stuff is your eating habits, and also like asking like, how's my water intake? And also I started to become aware of these excuses that I was giving myself for things. So I've been talking for a while getting a new water bottle because it's almost time for this. It's time for this bubble one to go. The old bubble that I had with the top messing up and stuff like that. But then also asking myself, what type of water bottle do I want? And I wanted something like this, like the bigger one, so that way I can just drink it like twice a day, and then boom, I'm done with it. And I was holding myself back from it. I was like, oh my god, like I can't find this bottle, and what's the cost of it, and all this other stuff. I'm like, yo, it's not. And I had this conversation, I'm like, yo, it's not freaking $5,000. It's like a $20 bottle, man. Like, it's not about the cost; it's about the investment and the value that I receive from it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that, and really just becoming aware of these thoughts that are going on within me, becoming aware of certain beliefs, but then also becoming more aware when I respond in things in a limited pattern type of thing. And I started realizing that, and I'm bringing more awareness to that now. Like, wait, it's not even just with this, with the water or with the fitness. Like, where else? Where else is this limiting portion of me showing up with it? And even for that, it's like the money thing. Oh man, like, oh yeah, I would love to have more money in my life right now. Okay, like I can create it. So what's stopping me from creating it? What's stopping me from really going, going for it type of thing? Like really in the place of creation for it. Me is that we have access to everything in this moment right now. The power of the internet, the power of being able to connect with people. It's like doing the TikTok videos. I don't know who I'm going to connect with on the TikTok, but I do know by doing a TikTok video or doing content on the internet, it goes out to the world.
True. Very true.
So how do you know that you are not in alignment?
I don't feel good.
Like right now?
Yeah. Yeah. I had to get real with how I've been bullying myself. This morning I could have totally slept for 2 extra hours, but I didn't, and I ended up spending those 2 extra hours doing nothing. Nothing productive.
Oh, you went to the gym?
No, I did not go to the gym.
Oh, was that the 2 hours that you were talking about earlier today?
Yes.
Oh. So what did you do?
I just said I did nothing.
Just nothing, man. Like you just sat somewhere.
No, I did a whole lot of thinking about doing things and not actually doing anything because I needed more sleep.
You're not alone with that either. When we think about doing, we think a lot about doing stuff, or say we're going to do something and never do it. Put more energy into the thinking about doing something as opposed to thought into action. And then what happened when you didn't do anything for those 2 hours? How'd you feel about yourself? Then what happened?
Usually I would feel not the best, but before my day actually got started, I made a decision to be extremely kind to myself. And I know that I made that decision before the day even started for a reason. So I got to do that instead today. And now I also have to I also get to be with how I get to be kind and also aligned with my goals. That is that's the space that I'm creating where I can do both. Usually it looks like one or the other. And that feels like new territory. I'm excited about exploring that space. I'm also excited about feeling better because my head does not feel very good right now. I was also having a conversation yesterday about how when like when there are, like goals and so forth, or people, like want to be happy, but there's an acronym in psychotherapy called HALT, HALT, and that is that people's intentions get thwarted when either of those acronyms is in effect. So, for instance, let's say a person has an intention to be of service. That can easily be thwarted by HAL or T, being hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And those are like basic human needs to take care of. So if they're not taken care of, then it's can make things a lot more difficult in terms of fulfilling an intention. Yes.
I'll let you finish because I'm going to share
Go for
my
it.
perspective with it. See, That's one way of looking at it when those needs show up. But you mentioned being of service. So those opportunities right there that pop up, what if those are an opportunity to be of service unconditionally? And to be in service unconditionally, that also includes in those moments like that for yourself. How can you be of service for yourself? There's always we could potentially be fixated on external reason ways to do stuff, or like even happiness type of thing. You could be happy right now if you choose to. If you ask yourself, how can you be happy unconditionally in this moment right now? How can I feel abundant unconditionally right now?
It's a good question. I'm not thinking about it, by the way, because it's right there. Be happy. Focus on what you want as opposed to what you don't want. What I was thinking about or just pondering was how that feels. Being in that feeling of unconditional happiness or unconditional love. That's a fun place to let my mind wander off to.
And now conditional feel, then we get to be God, because God is unconditional loving, unconditional kind, unconditional accepting, but the main factor is unconditional love. Also infinitely abundant.
What does that mean
That's the thing about it. Infinitely abundant means for anybody, whatever it means to whoever,
to you?
whatever abundant means to you. I, I don't. I never even think about infinitely abundant. I just think of infinite, infinite and unconditional, and in that realm get to play. But I never really thought about it. How can I be infinitely abundant right now in this moment? Asking that, what comes is like just being observant of all the infinite abundance that is in front of you in this present moment, that it is here with you, but also your nature. It's like the breathing in the infinitely abundant amount of air in any moment. You always have access to abundance of that. Could never say like, oh my God, don't have any water. Infinite abundance of YouTube videos to watch. There's content on Netflix to watch. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of things that we can bring in, gives in that abundant space. But and also given, you can infinitely give an abundance of infinite service or infinite love or whatever it may be you want to share your abundance in.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you focus on you, then you're focusing on infinite abundance.
What do you mean by that?
Because you are infinite abundance.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Hope you like our show.
Well, and next week we're gonna have a guest. So the guest times are starting to show up again, and also excited because we got a couple of big guests lined up coming up that we'll be making some announcements for, and we'll be making an announcement for upcoming guests next week, who just had an amazing book that we're going to talk about on the podcast.
Yep. Stay tuned to find out who that is. See you next week.
Stay magical.